series, and I'm talking about using Image J to map camera movement in film. And so this is a series of 6 shots from the first scene of the first episode of the 4th season of Sherlock, called The Six Thatchers. And I've chosen to put these particular shots together because they're of Benedict Cumberbatch. They're close-ups. One camera setup is tighter than the other, so you'll see in a moment when I play them that at one point the camera's tighter up on his face, but it's in the same position. And so I wanted something similar to demonstrate the power of this map that I've created. I'm going to go ahead and play the shots next to each other, and I'll count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, tighter, 5, 6. So why put these together? They're more or less the same, except for the camera a little bit tighter on that one shot. Well, take a look at the map that I've got here. These are slices of these shots, one put next to the other, and if you sort of look at the striations, you can probably count the 6 of them. But look at the first compared to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You notice the difference? It's immediate. Same position, more or less, but the difference in the striations is immediately visible. In the first shot, we have these vertical lines. They're solid, very little movement. There's some waving going on in the area of Benedict's face and hair. If you look here in the parallel view, same thing. Horizontal lines, completely solid. And then when you move into these other shots, you can see there's some waving and gradations of color and things like this. This waving is parallel to this area over here at the bottom. This tells me immediately something very interesting that you probably didn't notice when you were watching the clips just a second ago. The first shot is completely static. The camera is not moving at all, and that's why the background is one solid stripe. In all of the subsequent shots, the camera moves to greater or lesser degrees. But on the first shot, when Sherlock is texting, and we don't know exactly what he's doing, it's before the scene turns comical, the camera is completely static. Now, I'm going to play this again and watch the projector right here, because you can tell camera movement often in these kinds of scenarios is very, very subtle. And that's the case here with many of the shots. It's a little bit more pronounced in others, but if you're trying to sense motion in the subtle motion in the camera, don't look at the character, look at the scenery behind the character. So watch the projector. I'm going to scrub back. Okay, watch the projector as the scenes change. Still, it's still. Next shot. Very subtle movement in the camera. Watch that projector. It's a little stiller in this shot, a little less movement, but still a bit of a wave. And there you go, just a little bit of a bob. So when we're moving around these striations, you can see the scene or the shot where it's a little bit less mobile, you see less wave. So this is a really good example of how you can map camera movement within these different axis views of slices of the screen caps for a particular show. I kept with this one shot because I wanted to keep the coloring there so that it's completely obvious that you can see each one of these slices is like a fingerprint for the shot itself. And obviously you can see too, when you move into these areas, there's more movement from the center, so this is a more frenetic shot, and there's more movement in Benedict. So let's take a look at the start of this shot. Head moves, So he's moving in this area where it's wobbling and waving a bit, a lot more movement than these other shots that are tied up on him. Um, and you'll see this has got a bit of movement, but his head's not moving nearly as much as he's bobbing and moving here. So this is a really quick, straightforward map of not only the coloring, the lighting, but the position of the camera, the movement of the camera, and the dynamism of the actors within the frame. Um, it's huge. And as you spend more time looking at different films, you can even begin to tell what kind of camera movement is happening. You can tell the differences in the waves between a dolly movement, between something that's handheld, steady cam, a zoom in, zoom out. So um, that's my next venture, is to show some differences in the waveforms of different kinds of camera movement. Thanks for watching.